In a world where gaming is everything, welcome to the Extreme Gaming Podcast.
Welcome to the Extreme Gaming Podcast, episode 261. It is January 2nd. It is the new year, and we should all cheer about it. So, yeah, thank you. So, boys, how was your new year?
First of all, I'd like to thank my audience.
I
wouldn't have been here without God, Gene.
All right, play the music. Get him off. Play the music.
Yeah,
they're gone. Anyway, you guys have a good New Year? Or?
Yeah, it was quiet. Well, quite quiet.
Yeah, your New Year. Your New Year is 5 hours before mine.
It was, yeah.
Well, all the time differences. They had CNN was doing a thing, which I thought was pretty cool. They started out with doing New Year's around the world. And so the entire day was different cities in different countries. So they started out with Australia, which was my morning, and it turned 2025. Then it moved to Japan. Then it moved to Hong Kong. And then it just kept on moving around the world until they ended up the last place in New York City. So it was
amazing, huh?
It was pretty cool, though. I thought it was like neat seeing everybody's different way they're celebrating and stuff, and so it was pretty cool. Anyway,
it's awesome.
So it is EGP, like we like to call it sometimes, but it's Extreme Gaming Podcast. And then before I forget, I want to introduce my buddies here. Matt, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Matt, also known as Irish Guardian, all your gaming what's it's and Twitch. How you doing?
And
hello, I'm Tal, also known as Tal, and I'm really happy to be back. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Good.
Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Yes, it is. And we have hardware stuff to talk about, so that'll be fun, too. Not that you don't talk about other stuff. I know you do, but I know that's your forte.
I play the occasional game when I get the chance.
By the way, since you did introduce yourself, go ahead and give me a 20-30 second little quickie on gamertech.org. Go ahead.
Oh, you're very kind, Grace. So I'm my company's gamertech.org, where we have the best value gaming PCs in the UK. Go take a look. You can buy one off the shelf, or you can build one from one of 2,000 components. So have a look.
Do they have financing too, you guys? You do financing or no?
Yeah, we do the whole sort of really simple financing stuff like Klarna, so you can pay for it in 3 chunks, that kind of thing. But that's kind of it at the moment. It's just the simple stuff. We're only less than a year old, so we'll hopefully have some more comprehensive options with that kind of thing later.
But you guys all back your computers and everything, which is great. Not everybody does.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. So anybody want to check it out? It's GamerTech. That's GamerTech, of course, .org, and you can check out the website and see what you think. Also, our Discord you can join. It's of course discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. That's discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. We are also on YouTube, Extreme Gaming Podcast, Facebook, Extreme Gaming Podcast, TikTok, Extreme Gaming Podcast. On X, unfortunately, we couldn't get the gaming part, but it is Extreme Podcast. And we're also on Instagram and a couple others. I don't even know. There's some new ones popping up. We'll probably try to get on all those as well. So,
wait, what about the new liberal version of X? Are you on that? Blue Sky?
It's funny. We talked about Blue Sky a little bit. I haven't gotten on that yet. But I've been hearing different things about it. It's kind of like a split where some people are hanging with X and other things, people left and went to Blue Sky. Then there's Mastodon, and Mastodon has not as much.
Okay, I don't even know that one. I mean,
yeah, you look it up. There's a Mastodon. There's also, there's another one too. I can't think of. I lose track after a while, man. There's so many of them out there. I thought
it was the whole, left-right divide, X and Blue Sky.
Yeah, they're saying X leans right and Blue Sky leans left, and we all lean backwards, and I don't know.
So Mastodon's the Independents? Or?
I have no clue anymore. We just try to appeal to everybody, best we can. But in any case, it's been an interesting week. There's been a bunch of different things going on in the news as far as gaming news goes, hardware, and other stuff. So I think we'll start off with something which I thought was very funny, cool, but funny as well. Apparently, this guy decided that he wanted to take on a challenge of cooling his computer with 22 fans. You heard it right.
Really?
22 fans.
You
So
never have
apparently his case came with 5 fans, and he had to figure out how he was going to put in another 17. So he got to work on it, and he said that it wasn't the matter of the fact of the fans being that difficult to put in. He said the cabling,
The cables,
was,
yeah.
Oh God, totally
It's always
outrageous.
the cables.
Yep. And there was a picture. I don't know if I can get it up here quick enough, but I'll try. The cabling is like insane. I don't even know if because you have to pull the cables away from the airflow, otherwise why do you have 22 fans?
Yeah.
And stuff. So I'll try to get a picture up real quick if I can. But and then I'll show you what he did as far as the configuration and so forth. Let me see if I can pop this up real fast here. Hold on.
22 fans, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
If they're decent fans, which I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but a decent fan these days costs 20 quid, 25 quid.
Yeah,
That's like £500 just in fans.
Look at this picture. So I can't make it any bigger.
That's normal. That's just what the back of my PC looks like.
Yeah.
And I've only
I'm sure that picture is not everything. For people listening on our audio podcast, just imagine like a couple pounds of spaghetti hanging, in one area on your side of your case. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, I've only got 10 fans, and mine looks like the back of that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to say the least. But anyway,
Have you got
let me tell you what he
the
did.
front of the PC?
I'm sorry.
Have you got a picture of the front of the PC?
No, he doesn't have a picture of the front. I wish he did, but there's only that one picture.
The whole wardrobe.
So anyway, he said it started out as a Reddit challenge. Apparently, he went along with the question: what happens when you add an absurd amount of fans to a gaming PC to cool it? So he went with the 22. So basically, the 5 that were already there, we'll just figure out that's already in the unit, and then he added 17. So the ones that he added were 3 more fans at the front, 1 fan at the back, 3 more fans on the side, 6 fans dedicated to water cooling, 3 extra fans for the graphics card, and 1 fan for the RAM.
I'd really love to know what case that is. As a case nerd, that makes me really happy.
I'm looking here. I don't think he really says that. I don't see where he says the name of it, so I couldn't help you there. Let me see if there's something else. No, it's just talking about what he went through and so forth. They didn't mention the case. Maybe they didn't want to.
Yeah.
They're probably going
like an absolute mess.
Exactly. They'll say, "Get our case. It had 20. Look at the cables on it." Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, no, don't show that. That doesn't look good.
No.
I was wondering whether it actually was working here. It says apparently it wasn't perfect, but it was functional. I don't know what that means exactly.
Hey,
But,
I love that you tried though.
Yeah, that's it's pretty interesting. That's kind of like when we talked about a good while back when the Doom fans tried to challenge whether the creators of Doom, id Software, said that Doom 2016 could run at 1,000 frames a second. But no one could get it up that high. So what happened? This group got it, and they put a funnel around the chip, but tightly around the chip, so the liquid nitrogen wouldn't squirt it out the bottom too much. And they were constantly just pouring liquid nitrogen in there like this, just kept on pouring and pouring and pouring.
Yeah, boys.
And they were keeping track, and they actually hit 1,001 frames a second.
That's epic.
It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was cool though. It was cool to watch. So I thought
I need that.
Yeah. I think we need to do
awesome.
that. We should do something like that. That'd be great. We'll let Tarl do it.
You just have to have the fastest PC on the planet plus a whole vat of liquid nitrogen handy, and
yeah, that's all. Yeah, we can easily get that. Not
ongoing supply. That's it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're gonna roll right into a review. Matt, did you want to talk about the Below Zero and the Subnautica 2? Because you're on here twice.
So the Below Zero is the game review, and then Subnautica is just part of the gaming news because it's
already
out and all that stuff, and it's a little trailer. So I'm holding on to that for a little wee bit.
Okay,
but it might just go on because Mr. T in here because he's too busy chasing balls around on a field.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I hope he comes on soon. Travis is supposed to come back from a football game, so if he comes in late, he'll click on the link and join us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In any case, I did watch you play Subnautica Below Zero some, which I played the original Subnautica and none of the other DLCs or whatever that followed it. So I had not seen Below Zero which originally came out, I think, in 2021. And I was watching you play, and I thought that was kind of cool. There was definitely some different things about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a bit hectic, this one. So it is its own standalone expansion to the original Subnautica game, which has had good reviews. I think Subnautica got highest of reviews on the positive side, where Below Zero is just below that, but still looking good. So with this one, you follow a character called Robin Ayu, who's a xenobiologist searching for a long-lost sister on this alien planet 4546b. I'm so tempted to say LV, but that'd be awesome. So it's quite narrative. It's more personal, emotional compared to the original. There are more characters in this one, so you're not really alone per se.
Characters isn't other human characters, or
NPC characters that will lead on to a story. The story is not really thrown at you in stages. It's like when you get to a certain area or stage, then some sort of storyline will start happening, and then you have to chase that around. So that kind of gives it a bit better for the adventure. They have more biomes. So you got like twisty bridges, glacier basins, loads more caves, volcanic eruption areas, toxic gases, new creatures as well that will come and get you, which is so annoying because you only got this little knife that really doesn't do anything. As people who played Subnautica, you got this little thing and you don't actually kill anything. You just hit it and make it go away pretty much. So
I thought you were trying to electrocute one of them one time, some kind of creature. Were you doing that? Or...
See, monkey, he keeps stealing my stuff. So I kind of started stabbing it with this knife thing, so I could let my stuff go, and then it stole my knife. The
creature stole your knife?
Yeah. And then eventually down the line, another sea monkey came, and I was like, "Oh, I'm ready for you." I got a grav bomb sort of thing that'll hold you in place so I can take all the stuff there. And while I was trying to kill it, another one came up and gave me gold.
He gave you gold?
Gold, yeah. So nice. After a time, I think the sea monkeys kind of like you or something, so they start giving you things rather than taking.
They must have liked your gift.
Absolutely, yeah. My forceful gift.
It's good. It's a good thing you didn't kill the other one, or you might have gotten something else.
Yeah, true. There you go. So it does add a lot of variety with sea life critters that are coming after you. So it's good. More mechanics. They have changed the mechanics quite a bit for the survival part. New tools, new vehicles like the sea truck. Yeah.
We're just sharing. Frank has said, sounds like you brought a knife to a sea monkey fight.
I did. Never bring a knife to a sea monkey fight. I've learned that one. So there you go. The graphics performance has been upped, especially for next-gen consoles like PS5 and consoles. But PC is still winning, of course, because we're awesome. There we go. So, the negative part is that the world does seem a lot smaller for some players than the original one. But it's still got quite a bit to get exploring, more dangerous areas, so that takes a lot more time.
Were the graphics any different, or pretty much the same as?
Pretty much the same. Yeah, the same is improved, but I've got mine on 4K, and it still looks okay. It's not the best.
I thought it looked pretty good. I mean,
the resolution is pretty much there, but it could be a lot better. So there you go. Some people have been reporting that there are technical issues still happening with texture pop-ups and outs. But I haven't had that problem at all so far, anyways.
Right.
Other than losing some of my, I think I had a crate that I built and pushed on the ground, but then it disappeared. So never mind. There you go. It's a good game. It's underworld. You get to do things, see things. See things.
See things?
So,
You see things? See things?
See things. Yes, yeah. I've got critter eggs that you find that I want to hatch. Well, I can't hatch them yet because I have to find a habitat that they can use. Sort of thing. So you have to go around with a scanner scanning things to get these blueprints.
Did they ever turn into like a Frankenstein monster kind of thing and jump out of whatever you're keeping them in?
Hopefully not. I hope not. I did go to the base yesterday, and it kind of did rupture, and it was flooded. I fixed that now. So, yeah, there are things like that. So if you build too much of a base and you haven't got enough reinforcements, that thing's going to cave in and leak and go on fire and stuff. So, yeah.
How was the base building when you were doing it?
It's quite good. It's tedious because you have to look for certain things, certain ore materials. So you have to adventure to certain places to get certain things, which can get you into a lot of trouble, especially when you haven't got a lot of breathing room, quite literally, because you have got to eat, you got to drink, you got to make sure you've got enough air to do things. Bless you.
That's why I need my mic. Did any of the sea monkeys bring you materials you could use, or that's what's
only
sporadic?
1 gold so far? But I think it's quite sporadic. I did see other ones around. There's a whole group of them under the a cave that I'm near, so I will keep going in there just to see.
Is this your kind of game, Matt? You good with this kind of game?
Yeah. I think so. My kid would probably say nope. I'm terrible at it, but he's given me a job to find certain materials and to build a base. So I've done that now for him. So when he comes over the weekend, he'll probably shut me and go nah, and then.
What a good dad. He sat there and played the game for him, partly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just to get materials.
Matt was kidding around when I was watching him play. He told me the same thing about building the base for his kid. And he goes, we'll probably come in here, tear the base up and rebuild it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I've got to have that over there. I want this over there. I want the sea truck docking thing here. And it's quite good. It's very exciting. It's interesting. It's fun.
I played the first game about 50% of it, and I really enjoyed it. I think the only reason I stopped it was starting to get a little samey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I know the new one's going to come out later on, which I'll talk about in a bit.
I think the first one I kind of did that.
Yeah.
I skipped some of it and went off and played it.
I'm going to give.
I struggle a bit with the base building type mechanics and things like that. I do find them a bit tedious, and I kind of after 20 hours or so get a bit bored.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, the main thing about Subnautica that was cool is you're underwater. I mean, I know below zero you come above water too, but it was pretty interesting to have all this stuff happen underwater, which I thought was unusual. I don't think there's really been a lot of watery based games, I guess you're going to call it that was like Subnautica. So it's got that going for it.
Is there Soma? I think was underground as well. And there's another one that was 2D. I can't remember, Battle something. Where you're on the sub.
Not counting like side scrollers or something, because that could be anything.
Yeah, the Super Mario Brothers underwater levels. I mean, those were pretty.
Yeah,
good.
There you go. Yeah. See, there you go. Zelda, you go into water.
Well, since Trev isn't here yet, we'll skip over his news for the moment, and it's back to you again, man.
Oh, funny enough.
See how quick that was?
Yeah. Wow, I did not expect that to happen.
That's okay.
Which is good.
You want to try to get the teaser trailer up or no?
Well, I've got it there. Let's see if it works.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
So while he's getting that up, what we're talking about, I know. What we're talking about is Subnautica 2, which is, I don't know what the release date is. Matt will tell us what he does know. But they released a teaser trailer of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they've come with it over all this time. Remember, we also do a YouTube video podcast where I put in a bunch of stuff that you don't see during this podcast, including the trailers and whatnot. But yep, you got it up. Go ahead, Matt.
There we go. Yeah. So, highly anticipated sequel to the popular survival game Subnautica. Here it is. It's an open world, open water world survival, where you can immerse yourself into, of course, the water survival experience, exploring luring biomes and discovering fascinating creatures. It's also got multiplayer on this one, so this one I'm looking forward to. It sounds like it's going to be a bit bigger than the last one, so I'm hoping that's good. So yeah, you got your co-op, play with friends, do it yourself. So it's pretty much up to you. Crafting and building, it's pretty much the same. You got your crafting vehicles, your tools, and bases to help you survive. Hopefully they'll add a little extra to that. They haven't really eased off too much stuff from there. How are we doing on this? There.
Yeah, I know that was just a teaser trailer, but I'm hoping that some of the gameplay looks similar to what we saw in that teaser,
that
because
looks like AAA levels of video.
That's what I was talking about. So it's well, let's see. The original game came out in what 2020, and then they did this DLC in 2021, I think. So it's been a while. I would expect them to be up there or advanced or whatever. So hopefully we'll be able to see what that's all about. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. So this one's on the Unreal Engine 5, unlike its own Subnautica Below and the original. So hopefully that'll bring in a lot more visuals, more options, and improved performance. The other thing is it's going to be released as an early access for at least 1, maybe 2 years. So
how long?
1 or 2 years, give or take.
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
So it still kind of might be worth it. So pretty much from that, the only cons there is that waiting for the full release. How long is that going to take? It is going to be released on pretty much the consoles, the new gen consoles, as well as PC. Old gen, I don't think it's going to be.
Is it coming this year though, sometime, or is that what they're hoping? I guess
it is. Yes, the early access is going to come out this year.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll definitely try it. I mean, co-op, it sounds good. That'll be fun for us to play. So
it would absolutely. I think
underwater Power World.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All we need now is machine guns and balls to catch things with.
We've been playing.
I don't think they're balls anymore. They had to change it.
Oh, did they?
Because of the lawsuits. Yeah.
So would they make squares or cubes or something?
I'm not sure what they're going with. Yeah, but they had to change the way the mechanics work. So.
Hey, look, if that's all they had to change and they can still have the game, then these people are happy they can play the game.
Sure, I mean, absolutely. They went up against Nintendo in the Japanese courts, so I think they're pretty lucky, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I have read a couple articles. They said that, strangely enough, or maybe not so strange, Nintendo really wasn't looking for a lot out of them. They only wanted a couple things, and that was it. And I was like, really? Because they could have come at them a lot heavier. But apparently they didn't, and so it ended up being, the couple things they wanted, which cost the developer of Power World a few bucks, but not anything terrible. And they did it, and then I guess that means they're going to leave them alone now. So if they do, then that's good. Yeah, I mean, cool. I hope so. At least that's what we're seeing to be getting into.
Doesn't sound like Nintendo, but sure.
Hey, absolutely. What was the other one that Nintendo just started to sue? There was something else too. I can't remember now. They're out suing someone else though right now for another ripoff. Well, that's like everybody's been wondering whether the developers of Horizon Zero Dawn were gonna sue the Lights of Motrium, which isn't out yet, but it's gonna be, because talk about a game that is a real ripoff of the game. I mean, it's pretty. If nobody told you what the name of the game was, you would swear it was Horizon 3. Let's say. I mean, that's how close it is. The only difference, which I am kind of looking forward to, is they introduced a whole base building and crafting system, which Horizon obviously doesn't have really. So that could be interesting. And I'm not saying it might not be a good game. I just think that now people don't care anymore. They're just going to imitate whatever game they want to imitate, And this has probably been the biggest imitation I've seen. As far as, just completely using what it almost looked like they were taking the assets from Horizon and just dropping them in their game. I mean, it's like,
maybe this is just the way the landscape is going now, right? I mean, it's getting harder and harder to prove this stuff. And
I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to it, because it's kind of like, in one hand, I don't think it's a good thing, because they're just, hey, do something original. But then again, on the other hand, if they take it and do a really good job with it, then you want to play it. So it's kind of like, I guess if you're just going to go strictly from a gamer playing, angle on this one, then you want it to happen if it's good. However, I think what's going to happen is that if it's not good, people are going to really wail against it, because they're going to go like, "Oh, this is just a ripoff, piece of crap."
Yep. I think the concept of standing on the shoulders of giants has just been around since the dawn of time, right? And people will keep doing it. But it has to be good.
Right, exactly. And we had mentioned it before. I mean, I don't care if the gamers learn from other games and they borrow things and stuff like that. It's just that this was so blatant. It was like crazy. I mean, you look at it like, what was it last week, Matt? We were talking about Black Myth Wukong, and somebody came out with a game called Sun Black Wong something. What?
Yes, yeah.
And the character looks exactly like the other one. Oh my boy. The only difference was though that instead of ripping off the game as far as the gameplay goes, that was just a side scroller, I think, or something like that. It wasn't actually a game just like Black Myth Wukong, but what they did is in the advertising, they made it look just like it, so like or close to it, so that people would just kind of like, ooh, that might be and that's not it. In fact, some people were so convinced that they thought it was a DLC coming out already. For Black Myth Wukong, but it didn't. Yeah. It wasn't the story.
Hey, that's just good marketing.
Yeah. Well, imitation marketing too. See. Anyway, speaking of games, you had another game you played, Matt.
Not played, but have news.
Okay.
Max Payne, the all awesome slow bullet time shooty, throw yourself in the air, twist and twirl, eat your hearts out. Matrix, we've done it first.
I was just going to say that. Talk about ripping off. Matrix definitely ripped off Max Payne. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. So Remedy Entertainment recently shared an update that they are in full production as of, I think it was the first couple of months of 2024. The development of Max Payne 1 and 2. They're going to bring it a bit more into the modern world, giving it better graphics and gameplay enhancements. The gameplay, the remake expected to hit alpha stage probably in the next 1 or 2 years, with the potential release of 26, very late 26.
Is it a remake of the first Max Payne?
First and second.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a while to wait, but I thought, why not? It's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games out there. We spoke about this too a couple months ago. That if they do a good remake, I would play it. I mean, right now they're working on. We mentioned this before, but they're working on The Witcher 1, which I never played. I started on The Witcher 3, which is a good one to start with, I guess, because it was great. Yeah. But I never played 1 and 2. So, and I've seen the graphics on 1, and I'm not going to go back to play on those graphics. So if supposedly CD Projekt Red is really doing a job on the first one. They're going to try to bring it up quite a bit. And supposedly they're shooting for this year to bring it out. I hope. So if they actually do it, that'd be great. I'd love to play Witcher again and head back to it. It'd be fun.
Is it going to be a remake or a reboot or a complete? Is it going to be exactly the same but just new graphics? Or?
I don't think they're calling it a remake. I don't know what they're calling it exactly. The way I've read is that you would think it's a remake because a lot of the recorded lines and everything else are going to be the same. But they said that they're going to really do better than just trying to throw a few graphics around. They're going to try to really bring it up as far as they can. So I don't know what that means. I mean, right. So it's a remake, but maybe it might get as far as or close to like a remaster, supposedly. I really don't know. I'm hoping it looks really good. Look, anything's better than the graphics in the first one because the first one was, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that maybe we see something a little different. Also, just a little up here. Frankus says, "Oh man, I love Max Payne. Although that baby crying maze level was a nightmare."
That was awful. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I had to keep going back to that one.
So I got a question.
Sounds like a horror movie.
What do you think about all of the remakes and remasters and everything else? Right? Are you on board of this, or are you just thinking, oh man, just get some originality, make some new games?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in two minds. Like in general, I'm not interested in the remakes at all. Make something new, make it shiny, get us something else on there. It's only very rare ones that I'd see that I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe this would be worth it. I think Mass Effect was one of them that I'd probably go for. Was it the Horizon Dawn as well? That remake was okay so far. I still have to get back into that. So with Max Payne, because they're adding more to it as well, not just having a complete rehash, they're adding some other mechanics. They're adding other scenarios,
So they're adding some new stuff.
Yeah, so that kind of makes it a little bit more fresh, to keep away from the old. So hopefully it'll be fine. And
There
everybody hates
he made
football. Nobody likes football, except for him.
Your Lord and Savior has returned to save you all and forgive you for your sins. And
you must be pretty cold. You look like you have an Arctic parka on or something.
I've just come in.
And that's all.
I've just arrived. Do you guys put the heating on for hours and hours during the day when you're not at home? Thank you, Matt. And you live in Florida, so you would never understand. Tarl's smart. He knows.
No, don't work with that. Don't need to work with that.
So I do work from home from time to time. So
you'll be up next in a second there, Trev. We skipped over your news, but we'll come back to it in a sec.
Screw you.
To answer your question, Carl, on the remake side of things, originally I was not for remakes whatsoever. For the reason like you gave about, come on, make some original games already. Now I'm kind of looking at it a little differently. If you're gonna do a remake, you better make it damn good, because if it's not good, then it's a big waste of time. And like Matt just said, they're adding some new stuff to Max Payne. Well, in Horizon Zero Dawn, when they did the remaster and it came out recently, they also added new stuff. They added some new cinematics. They added actual new lines. They brought in the actors to do some new lines, and they added the new lines back in. And they added closer shots of some of the NPCs, so you felt a little more like it was what was happening. And so 10, 15, 20% or whatever of what putting it back into the game was new. And then on top of that, they really lifted the graphics because it looks really good. I mean, when it first came out, it was really good. But then, of course, the second one came out, Horizon Forbidden West, and it looked great. So they brought it up to that level now, and it looks excellent. So they really did a good job. So in that case, yeah, I'd love to see it.
What if they do all those things, but then they screw it up somehow by, I don't know, changing the story, making the ending bad?
Then I'd be totally against it. I think if you're going to do a remake, you're under scrutiny that you have to remake it so that it's worth it. Otherwise, why bother? Look, they're making money off of this because doing a remake or a remaster, whatever, is going to cost them far less than making the game an original game. So if they do a really good job, fine. If they make really good money off it, fine. But then take that really good money you're making off it and make an original game next time around. So if it's going to help the company pay for an original game, fine. If you're just going to do nothing but put out remakes all the time, then I'm not interested. I want to make some meaningful stuff. We had talked some time ago about the old Tomb Raiders when the first ones came out. Long ago, right? Or even just maybe 10 years ago or more, or a little less or a little more than that. If they could take those games where I'm not going to go back and play them. I did play them when I was younger, and of course they were great because that's all we had. But if they were able to bring the standards up to at least the more modern Tomb Raider graphics, etc., then I would be all for it. But according to what we've seen and read, is that when they do this remaster or remake or whatever of they're just going to go in there and just clean it up and make it look a little bit better and maybe a little bit sharper and run a little better. And that's it. They're not doing anything else. So it's almost like they're doing a half-assed job. They're just going to go like, let's just tweak a little of this and that, and we'll sell it and make some money.
I'm okay with that. That's okay. This is my opinion, right? The old games that are amazing, that like let's say Final Fantasy VII, right? That's my favorite game. These old games, they're pretty much perfect. Like Final Fantasy VII is perfect. I would have been way happier if they had just made the graphics nice. Maybe, I don't know, redone some of the cinematics, or maybe even not, but just a little tart it up a bit, and that would have been great for me. I don't like when they go back and play with perfection, like some of these old games are.
Absolutely, yeah. There is a line where if it is that good, then you shouldn't really have to mess with it that much.
I mean, I see your point because I know there's people that don't have a problem going back and playing old-looking 8-bit and 16-bit games, but I do. And I've got
no problem with that.
Yeah, and I understand that. More power to you for sure. There's plenty of people just that have your opinion as well. It's just for me I played the games. I'm older than you guys, so I played all the games. So I look forward to everything that comes out that's new, or newish, or new, or and so I'm fantasizing in my head, going like, "Wow, if they could make the really old Tomb Raiders what the new ones look like, that'd be like great. I would just play them in an instant." But but I get your point too. That makes sense. So if they're going to remake it, they should do both. They should do the easy one, and keep the graphics relatively the same, except a little, whatever, polished, and then remake it and really bring it up to snuff.
Maybe have you seen Diablo 2 with the remaster that they did, right? So you can switch between the old version and the new version.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Cool. No. That's cool.
Yeah, but how about if they made, a game that they went back and made a new game of the old one that's kind of like, 25% new stuff, but then you could just press something and go back to the actual original game that just has the fancy graphics. That would be great. That's the perfect.
That would be interesting, but it depends. If they're putting in 25% of new stuff, let's say, but they're keeping it at 16-bit, let's say, then me personally, I'm not interested. But if they up it to a higher quality, to where it doesn't have to necessarily be Unreal 5 quality, but somewhere in between, the old and Unreal 5, then I would definitely consider playing it and stuff. No doubt. But it's like, if I don't like the fact, and I shouldn't say don't like, but if I've outgrown the 8 and 16-bit versions of games and I don't want to go back and play them any longer, then why would I go back and play it just because they added new stuff to it? Because it still looks terrible as far as I'm concerned. But obviously it works because they're making money off it. But I just, like I said, I want to hold their feet to the fire. If you're going to do a remake, make it good, man. Don't sit there and just,
everything's a remake or a reboot.
And also it depends on how much they charge too. What was it the game guys that came out recently I can't remember. I think it was a remake and they were charging like a lot of money. And I'm sitting there going like, no, you shouldn't have to pay, in my mind, again, depending maybe how much you actually did to the game, you shouldn't pay more than half price.
But this is their cash cow. This is the thing, right? They're taking a game that already exists. They're putting 25% effort into it to make it 25% better, or give or take. But then they're charging 500% more. And why wouldn't they? Because people are going to buy it, right? The only thing we can do is vote with our wallets.
Yeah, but I think there's a line to be drawn somewhere. It's kind of like where does the greed end? You want to be a little bit greedy because it's business. I get it. But you don't want to go all the way up to a AAA price game. I mean, that's insane. I mean, I can't see. If the remake was really good, I couldn't see paying more than tops $40, more like $30 though. Half price or whatever. But I would consider going maybe that high if it was a really good remake.
I think you're in the. I think you're not in the majority there because nostalgia is a powerful drug.
Sure.
And people will pay the money for the new version of their favorite game that they loved from their childhood or whatever.
Well, you remember the Crash Bandicoot when they redid that and it came out all 3 games? See, now I used to like Crash Bandicoot a lot, so I bought the 3 remakes and I did. But the thing is, it's a cartoony thing, so I don't look at it as being the same as a heavy duty RPG or whatever. So when I went to go back and play it, it was a mixed feeling. I was happy because it did look nicer and I was having some fun doing it. But then I really did start seeing where some of the mechanics back then drive you crazy. Because there'll be certain things, you think you can do and you can't do it. And you're like, why can't I do it? Oh, that's right. Because the mechanics are still the same. And so you're not happy about what you can't do. And you know what I'm saying? And so I still liked it, but I was kind of like, okay, I see the good and now I see the bad as well, and stuff. It'll probably be a never ending, argument or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize the discussion, but it was a good discussion. So that was cool. But Trev, if you're ready, we'll go backwards on the notes to your game news.
Sure. 2 things, Gray. Have you paused my upload?
I will right now.
And he forgot to change the title to 261. So I went in and done it every time without fail. Well, actually, not every time. 50%
I was doing good
fail
for 2 weeks in a row. I mean,
it was. And then it was mentally exhausted after that for the rest of the year. Right. Anyway, so thank you for your patience, boys. One news article out of these 2 is actually more interesting than the other, I guess. So I guess I'll get the piece of news out of the way that's not really a piece of news, is more of a statement, maybe an obvious statement. So the guys that own GTA are Rockstar, but then Rockstar are owned by Take-Two. one of, if not the biggest, they're up there with like Tencent, is like the biggest gaming publishers that own so many studios, and they're worth an absolute fortune. He's obviously got a sneak peek at GTA 6 as his privilege and rank. And he is, and this is just to build up the hype, because I'm looking forward to this. He's saying it's going to be extraordinary and well worth the wait. I think it's, from the rumours, it's still scheduled to be autumn this year, and right at the end, at the death, just before winter comes in. But I hope that is the case, because, well, it's a massive, massive game. It's they're basically saying pre-orders alone will equate to, not yet, because they're not up for sale, I don't think yet, but pre-orders were estimated to be $1 billion just for and bear in mind it's not coming out to PC yet. That's just for consoles. That's for two games consoles. $1 billion with an evil Doctor Evil thing. Like, you got to do that, you know.
Come on, Charles. Do it, Charles.
So it's that's extraordinary. And then they're saying they'll end up getting a total of $3 to $4 billion from selling this game. Wow. So it's going to cost an absolute fortune. I mean, it's weird. It's ironic I say this, right? Because I don't normally get caught up in the hype that much. But I've just saw Matt's message. That is hilarious. I put Gray's my dad, and then Matt went, he's my dad too.
For those of you on audio, again, when we do the live broadcast, we have little bylines you can put below our name. So we screw around with it all the time to get each other to crack up.
Yeah, I forgot to change mine as soon as I come on, and it was a bit naughty, so apologies.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing. Mine was a little bit risque, so I changed it. You know, but that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I am looking forward to GTA. But the thing is, right, I don't know why, because I barely touched GTA 5. As in, I played a bit of the online, and the story. I've started the story, but I really need to finish it before I play 6. It's only fair, and I will get it on the PS5 Pro. I probably won't double dip and get it on the PC, because it'll be a couple of years, minimum of 1 year, I think, possibly 2. I understand why they're doing it. It's the resource. They don't trust anyone external to make that for them, and they want to get it out to the most profitable platforms right off the bat. So it's PlayStation and Xbox. It sucks, but they've done it with GTA 5, and that's just the way it'll go. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. So
by the time it comes out on PC, you'll have played the hell out of it, and you don't want to play it anymore by the time I try to play it.
Well,
it's online.
I hope the online version launches straight away for console or shortly after, because the online version for PC it literally takes forever to load. It's ridiculous. It's really off-putting, actually. So, and it'll make them a fortune in online sales.
If they do online, are they going to do online for consoles only right away?
Well, yeah, because it won't be out in PC at all. Like, it won't be. It's just the consoles at the start.
So I wonder if there's a way to have the PC emulate a console so that you could play online.
Yeah, there's no PC that can emulate a PS5
you
at
can't
the moment.
emulate a PS5 yet.
And you get sued into like glass storage.
Into oblivion.
No, that's Nintendo. Nintendo sue you out of existence. At least Sony and stuff will just sue you without actually eliminate you from the timeline.
Right, they want you to exist so they can hang you from a pole or something and show everybody.
Make an example of you. So yeah, it'll be the biggest game of all time. I'm not really surprised by that. And the other thing, which, God, maybe I should caveat this with an apology, but there might be something to it. Half-Life 3. That one again, boys. That one again. Yes. I know. Listen. It's making my hoo-hoo do a thing as well, Taro. It's not just you, my friend. It's up there with Doom as my favourite 2 franchises in video. In fact, that's what got me into 2 games. Can get credit for me getting into PC gaming first and foremost. First was Doom, actually, to be honest with you, beforehand. I played them on my mate's PC when we couldn't afford a PC and were really expensive, and he was a little rich boy. So we'd play that on his machine, and I absolutely adored it. And then a bit later on, Half-Life came about. But I was in uni when I just started going to uni when Half-Life came out, so played the shit out of 1 and 2. I adored them, and then Half-Life Alyx came out a few years back, and it's the best VR game, hands down. Nothing even comes close to it. It's made from the ground up. It is perfection, generally is. Plays, looks stunning, great storyline. Just keeps teasing you all the way along. So Half-Life 3 is being teased again. Of course it is, and we do take it with a large pinch of salt. However, they're talking about play tests for Half-Life 3 being a thing at the moment. And just for now, it's more of a very, very internal thing, as in just some of the devs playing it, some of the friends and family playing it, that kind of thing. I think, and a lot of people are saying this online, I watched some videos of people that have predictions, like gaming podcasts out with our own, and 2 or 3 of them are saying one of my predictions is they'll announce a Half-Life 3 this year. Not to say it'll come out this year, but they announce it. Can you imagine, Tower? I'll lose my shit, man.
Trev, sorry, I've got to stop you there, but are you saying that this exists? I mean, what?
Just rumours, heavy rumours.
Rumor.
So there's actually a product that friends and family of Valve are playing. It actually, oh my god!
We need to find some singles in that group.
I think I need to sit down. I think I need to lie down.
Well, the things that impresses me about this rumor is that before there's always been rumors for the God knows how many years. Oh, Half-Life 3, blah 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 blah. But this time it said playtest, so now I'm kind of like, okay, now it's a little different. I do know that when what was the game we played recently? Deadlock, right? So they were testing that apparently before they let people try to test it. And nobody knew anything about it until Deadlock came out and said, play this game. And the game is already mostly made. And I'm like, why didn't we hear about this? So now I'm kind of wondering, I'm thinking that if it's a rumor that says playtest, I wouldn't put it past Valve to be playtesting it right now.
But this is like the MO of Valve, right? No secrets escape from Valve headquarters.
Not generally, right.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if there is, a third of a game already made, something that's playable.
I'll be honest. I don't want to hear about this game until it's got at the most 1 year to go. Ideally 6 months before, so that I'm not teased for too long. I don't like it when they announce games like, oh, by the way, we haven't even started on the game, but we're announcing it, and we're just going to create a CGI trailer just for said bloody game. And you're like, what was the...
You mean like Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah. There's many examples. It gets annoying, actually. So, I mean, that's when it will start... the leaks will start happening, potentially, when...
playtesting.
Yeah. Oh, no,
so
what more the rumour is, apologies, Tower, they're about to move to the playtest. I should probably add that in, slightly caveat that. That's when we'll start to hear things probably more leak out, because devs can play internally and you won't hear anything because they're all loyal to Valve. It's a private company, they're paid well. You're less likely to get leaks out because it's one big family and they all love what they do and they take pride in it. And that big fat paycheck doesn't hurt things either.
The turnover at Valve is virtually non-existent.
Yeah, that exactly. Like, why would you want to leave somewhere where you're really happy? And they're not in a rush to do Half-Life 3 because it's got to be the perfect story. They don't need money, Valve.
Right.
Gabe only sign off in it when it's a great story. So it's the same with like The Last of Us. If part 3 would ever come about, which it probably is getting made just now, let's not be around the bush, it has to be a great story because the first 2 were good stories. So yeah, I really hope it happens. I will buy any collector's edition of anything. They could bring out a limited edition collector's model of a bloody Half-Life pencil for £200. I'll have to buy it. Just have to buy it.
I've actually got butterflies in my stomach. Honestly, I'm just like, I'm the biggest Half-Life Valve fanboy that there is.
I love it, man.
So excited.
I genuinely love it. It's so good.
I probably want to come. In some ways, I wanted to see it maybe even worse than you guys, because the problem is I came into Half-Life late, like very late. Don't ask me why, I just ended up that way. So I played the game, but I never really finished it because I wanted, because at that time, again, there was better games out graphically. Even though I liked the story.
You're such a graphical
whore,
aren't you, man?
The story was fine.
Man.
His story was
never
great. It was
finished
getting. It was.
Half-Life.
I know, but it was starting to get to me.
See the bathroom stalls I was in earlier on, even though it's Melson, Florida, it said,
Look, if you
we'll
see
do anything for shiny graphics, right to grey here.
But you have seen the graphics in Black Mesa and so forth. I mean, you're talking definitely a step up when they on those mods. And Black so Mesa that's kind of what I'm looking for. So now that they're talking about Half-Life 3, I'm going like, whoa, it's gonna be light years ahead. So
why did you miss it? Why did you were definitely well and truly all grodded up when they came out at the time, and that would have been state of the art at the time. So why did you miss it when it first came out?
I don't know. I was playing so many other things that I just totally.
But it was a massive blockbuster when it came out, so I'm really surprised that you missed that one.
There's always a game that I get, not always, but a lot of times there's a game like, oh damn, I mean to try that, and then all of a sudden it just gets away from you, and then you go back and oh yeah, this is good.
I've got a hot take for you, and I'm sorry, I want to go back to Grand Theft Auto, but my hot take is that I think they're going to do a Cyberpunk, and I think that it's going to arrive a hot steaming mess of bugs. And people are going to be very, very unhappy having just paid $1 billion to pre-order it.
Oh, GTA, yeah.
For GTA? Yeah.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
because I think the reason for that is they tend to not come out ultra buggy Rockstar games. They don't. But I think what's happening here is they're under pressure, at least internally, a little bit, because things leaked out so bad that they said, we'll be out in 2025, but we can't say when, and there's so much pressure on them to bring it out. That's what will happen. Do I want it to be delayed to 2026? No. But if it's going to be better, then delay it. Of course, delay it.
Delay it, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played Cyberpunk because I just think it's unfair to the customers to release a product like that. And if they do it with Grand Theft Auto, man, it's going to be big.
Well, Taro, if they do it with Half-Life 3, I would be even more pissed off. No. But then saying that Valve bring out really...
It's terrible.
They bring out really polished games, Half-Life. They're really, really good, actually. So I very rarely have had issues playing that. But yeah, I mean, literally, Taro and I would be marching... Well, actually, you'd be marching up here because their main studio of at least the UK, if not Europe, is in Edinburgh. So he'd be marching up with me and we'd get in the pitchforks and going outside like we're going to...
You know what? Gaben, he wouldn't do this to me. He wouldn't do this. You know, we're good pals, me and Gaben, and I write to him quite a lot. He writes back sometimes, and I don't think he'd do this to me.
No, I meant GTA 6 for the killing someone.
Sorry.
Yeah, but Half-Life. Yes, you're right. Half-Life.
Okay, that was good to hear anyway.
Sorry. We'll go wherever. No, actually, it's too far for me to go to the States to complain.
I can tell you right now, if Valve does Half-Life 3, you're going to see way less bugs than a lot of these other companies putting them out because I just think the quality at the outset is going to be much better.
Where are they based? Where are they based? Seattle, aren't they?
I think Seattle. Yeah.
That's 4,000 miles away from me.
Complete game without bugs. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Take the time you need to get it right, guys. So that's certainly the news I have from the gaming side of things. Moving on.
Sounds good. All right. What we got up next? We got Tarl up next. Look at that, Tarl.
Yeah. What's that?
All right. Cool.
So we'll start out with some hardware stuff again. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, thank you. I think you've already talked about some 5090 news a little bit before, but I wanted to bring it up again because a couple of days ago, some interesting news came out and a little picture. I don't know how to do pictures, Gray, so can you do the picture for me? Would that be okay?
Yep.
So this image came out of the PCB for the 5090, and it is wild. So on this image is let me know when you've got it.
It's coming.
Gray. Thank you, sir. So what we're looking at here is, I think a lot of this has been confirmed already. 32 gigabytes of VRAM on a 512 bus, and it is going to be an absolute monster. And if you scroll down a little bit, so this is the 5090 PCB here, and if you scroll down, we've also got the 4090 as a comparison. Where do you go from here, by the way? Because that 5090 is absolutely cram-packed. So you're looking at 600 watts of power needed just for the graphics card itself. When it comes out, I'm sure it's going to be as rare as rocking horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen the price, but they're saying $2,600
Yeah.
Taro, we need to mention really quickly, the last card, the 4090, was, what was that, $1,600?
$1,600.
So Gray thought it would be that price. I thought they would be increased, but not super expensive. I thought $2,000. That's already a really good increase right away. I know the components cost a lot more. I get that, especially GDDR7 memory modules. They are expensive to get, but they are absolutely taking the piss. And I know they're going to, because no one can compete with the top end, but this is ridiculous. No one's saying you can't make a profit, even a good profit, and be one of the top companies, if not the top company in the world. But greed, man, just greed. I'm sick of it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the material costs to go from 24 gigs to 32 gigs of RAM, $120, $150 max.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more because it's GDR7, but I don't know. But it's so much money. But okay, so let's look at it from the other side of the coin, right? It's going to allow people for the first time to have proper 4K gaming at high frames per second. So you'll be able to probably do, again, I'm just guessing, but probably 200 frames upwards on 4K. It's going to be incredible for professional use. 32 gigs of RAM. It's going to be incredible for AI. And it's going to be the only GPU of this caliber for the next 2 years. So
will it do 8K gaming?
Nah. So
yeah,
$2,600. Are you buying it?
8K 60, yeah, possibly.
8K, I'd say 30 max.
I'm just thinking for all that extra money, they should do it for 8K.
The 4090 can manage 8K 30 in some games. Not nothing too crazy. What do you think about the 5080 Tower? What do you think that'll be cost-wise then?
Probably
21.
At least the price of the 4090. I'd say probably $1,600 to $1,800.
21.
What was it in the UK, the 4080 when it came out? Was it not something reasonable like £600-700? And they're really going to go and increase the 4080. I'm trying to do comparisons between current
it was
and
like
new gen.
$1,200, and it only had 16 gigs of RAM. It was only when the 4080 Super came out that it became like a reasonable proposition. Something you'd actually buy. But originally, it was bad, man, really bad.
I think the 4080 was actually, or maybe it was. I think it was decent value, and they're going to increase that one to the 5080 for a massive difference. That I just think I won't bother upgrading the GPU if that's the case. I need to upgrade my CPU. I'm not going to do that if they're charging that kind of money. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
$2,600 is the price of a really good computer, a whole computer.
Oh, look at Prankus. Prankus is drunk. Go home. Of course, it can't run Crysis on high. Come on, man.
Nothing can.
Crysis is getting to be not the standard bearer anymore for that kind of stuff. Now it's up to some other.
You got to keep the joke going because it's funny.
Oh yeah, the joke's got to keep going. There's nothing, They just remastered it, I think. But well, my thing is, I'm not trying to brag, but I will. Is I went ahead and predicted the price would be $2,500, and these two are going like, "You're nuts! It's never going to be that way." And what happened was, not only was I right, but they won $100 above what I said.
Well, I'm going like, rumors, man. We don't know yet. It's rumors.
Maybe we'll bring it down.
Find out in 4 days. That's when CEX is.
When the rumors are just like a week out, they're fairly solid,
Yeah.
Oh no, it probably will be, man. Listen. Of course, it makes sense for them to make the prices really, really high because they have no competition in the high end. This is why AMD are very, very selfish. Very, very. I actually blame them really for all this. Come on, pull the finger out. You can't compete with them in the top end. Really? Come on.
Maybe they don't want to rip off people.
Good if you try.
And see, if it was me, if I was AMD, I would put out a card as good or close to the 5090 and charge about $500 less. They could take a chunk of the market right there.
They release as much as they can. They release what they've got. Like that's the problem is it's not close enough. That's the issue.
Exactly. But they've got like a 10% market share. So they must be thinking to themselves, what the fuck are we even bothering for?
Yeah. What can we do?
That's what they've done. They haven't released a top tier card that can compete with it.
To be honest, business wise, AMD doesn't need to. AMD has a solid lead in certain areas that NVIDIA doesn't bother with. So it's not like AMD is not making money. They just went with what what they're strong in, and that's it.
Yeah. See, answering Taro's question directly, that in terms of where do we go from here with the 5090 onwards, but considering the die size is absolutely, I mean, literally it's got its own postcode now, it's that big. You're getting to a stage now, and I think your man, Mark Cerny, the lead architect for Sony's PlayStation, and if you haven't seen that, go and watch his deep dive. It's super geeky, Tarl. I know you're more about PCs like myself, but still, it's x86 architecture stuff there, so it is based off PC components at the end of the day. And he goes really geeky to the point where you literally can't miss a bit of it, otherwise you've lost what he said. You have to focus on all of it. So I was rewinding all the time, and it was fascinating. Digital Foundry were asking him questions as well afterward, and I love what they do as well. Like, they're super geeky, and they were like, where do we go from there? And he said, well, we're getting close to reaching what we can do with rasterization. And that isn't a Jamaican thing, guys. That's literally raw graphical horsepower there. Hear me now. It's
rasterization. I get it.
Yeah, we're getting close to what we can achieve. So where do we go? We go AI, we go machine learning, things like that. That's what you can generation. Do. There's only so much you can do, man. We're getting close to. We're hitting photorealism at points in games, certain games. So that'll be, because you can't keep going bigger and bigger as well, because I don't know what these new chips are on, like the 5000 series GPUs, Tar, but they be like 4 or 3 nanometers at this stage. So
I think they're 3 nanometers. Yeah, they're
yeah, that's expensive.
They're down to 2? Wasn't somebody one of them down to 2?
But the problem is, when they bring that out, TC, well, bless you,
TSMC.
Thank you. When they bring out their latest iteration of chip technology and fabrication, they then get booked up by these big companies way in advance, and it's not been that long since 2 nanometers was something they started putting into production. I don't think a chip exists yet that's 2 nanometers. I think the ramp up production is it this year or next year for that. So maybe the iPhone 16 might be on that later this year, but it's a big if. It takes time. The yields are always low to begin with, Gray, because it's such a brand new technology. So they have to charge such a high amount for it. And when you look at a big piece of silicon, it's always circular, which is a really shit design in terms of like getting bang for your buck, but that's just the way things work out. So all this chip round the outside are more likely to be gammy and dodgy. And then as time goes on, they get better and better, more efficient, and more of the silicon can be used, and they can bring down prices. So we've got a while to go yet. This is why you're seeing such high wattage in these latest cards, because, well, if you're paying an absolute fortune, 2 nanometers or 3, then 2 nanometers means just sell your house if you want the 6000 series cards. Because
apparently it's not out there yet, so I don't think we know for 100% if it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, true. Silicon is just sand. We're paying for sand. Yes, we are, sand. Very good point, my man. Very good point. It's ridiculous. It really is, mate. But here's the thing. Right? I get super geeky again. It's stop me here, but it's not just the sand that you get from the beach sand. It's a particular type of very, very fine grained, good quality sand that you can only get in certain places. You can't just pick it up anywhere. Otherwise, it would be cheaper. Certainly not. Oh, hell no, man. You see the pebbles down there, mate. Oh. No, that would be that wouldn't run much. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I get a bit caught up in how geeky this stuff gets in. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea,
So nobody's buying the 5090 then at $2,600?
I've only got one Super, left. Mate. I've got a 4080 Super. That's a brilliant card. It's got DLSS 3.7 on it now. And maybe the new version of DLSS, if they bring it out to her, they bring out 4.0. Maybe that's backwards compatible. Probably not. We know we'll keep that.
Probably not. It'll only be all 5000 series.
Wishful thinking, man. It. Just like I thought the card would be cheaper. Wishful thinking.
That's okay. Someone will come out with a software fix for us.
I think if I needed it for work, and it would really improve my workflow. No, actually serious this time.
Oh, right, okay.
If I need it to actually improve my workflow and it would make me money, then it's going to be a seriously good bit of kit. But if you're putting one of those in to play games on for $2,600, man, that's wild.
And the thing is, the pound will be close to that. That's the thing that a lot of these American companies don't realize, that actually, if something's $2,600, it's closer to about £2,200. But even if you factor in their VAT, which you put on top, they still Apple do it all the time. The new iPhone's $1,200, but £1,200, and I'm like, that's not how currency exchange works, people. You're very educated. It's called sheer greed.
Yep.
And they're going to tell you it's marketing, and that's why they have to do that.
Marketing. Well, it costs more to market in the UK than the States. Yeah, very good. But yeah, anyway, not for me. Probably not at that price. I wanted a 5090, mate. I really did, but
I did it till I saw the price. I can't afford one of those. That's crazy.
I don't even think I could afford a 5080, never mind a 5090. So I might just have to. And the thing is, they don't reduce the price of their cards, mate. That's the problem. For the most part, they maybe do a little bit towards the end of their generation when they bring in the Supers and the TIs, but it won't be anytime soon.
But like you said, once those processes start getting more efficient, all that's happening is that they're just making more money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, how often do things go up in price? A lot. But then, like, a good example is petrol, gas, right? When they put the price up at the pumps, probably the same in the States. When they put the price up at the pumps in the UK, right, X amount of pence, and because the wholesale price of oils went up, but then when it comes down,
they leave it up for a while.
They leave it up for a while, or they'll only take
just forever.
1 or 2p off it, or take nothing off it. Right. Whereas it's dropped by 5p, they'll take it down by a p, 1 or 2 pence if we're lucky. That's just greed, man. Like
when they bring it up, they bring it up right away. When the price goes down on the barrels, they just hang there.
They can't get it up any quicker. And yes, giggity, exactly, giggity, 100% with that comment. But yeah, they're greed.
What's better than the blue?
I'll go in a rat. Well, that's it. You need to take the red pump over the blue pump. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, we're gonna get into back on some games and then some hardware again later. But anyway, I always like to pick up on some of these articles, especially when we just completed a year of games. And these are the best PC games of 2024, but according to Metacritic. Now, Metacritic, if you don't know already, is more of an aggregate site. So they try to take reviews from like all over the place, all different, and then just average them out and put it up. So again, you may or may not disagree, or we may not agree or disagree, whatever. But I thought I would just throw it out there to see what you guys think. So here's just some of them for 2024. One was Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree, which was a DLC, but it was so big it was almost like another game. And the Metascore rating was 94 on that one. Do you guys kind of go along with that one? Or, I mean, I played not this DLC. I played the game somewhat, although I was getting my butt beat so many times. I was done with it. But I don't know.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty big. Talk about making some money off a game. This is another one that won some game awards, but none of us have played it here, but I might want to try to go back on it. And that's Metaphor ReFantazio. And that had a Metascore of 92. And I hear a lot of good things about it, and they've got a lot of 10 for 10 ratings and everything. And so I got to see what it's about. It's very interesting looking, and I will put up some of the video images on the YouTube edit that we do. So look for that in the 48 hours or so after this show. Tekken 8, I was actually a little surprised, made it all the way up on the list with a score of 90. I used to like the old Tekken. I think the last Tekken I played was 6 or 5 or whatever.
The new Tekken is good. That's one of the few games on this list I've played. It is really good.
I prefer Dead or Alive, purely for the fighting ability, nothing to do with the characters and the aesthetics and the bouncing, just purely for
the jiggle mechanics.
Jiggle mechanics. Listen, the physics are so realistic. It's absolutely unbelievable. The time and effort they put into these male developers. Love it.
I can appreciate some good jiggle mechanics.
I like the the gaming's really good, but those physics really do good, wonderful things here and there.
Gray coined it jiggle physics. I'm sure he did.
I didn't make it up. That's a common thing out there. You just don't hear it quite as often, but somebody came up with it originally. But yeah, everybody likes a little bit of jiggle physics. In their hands, of course, not anywhere else. Anyway, next game up was UFO 50. which looks it's like an old style game for sure.
Yeah.
Looks like a side scroll 8-bit, 16-bit, whatever kind of game. But it had a 91 Metascore, and apparently people really like it a lot. I would think some of you guys would probably like this better than I.
This looks like Ghosts and Ghouls or Ghouls and Goblins.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. So that just shows you that some games, despite the fact that I might not like the graphics, they do very well. And you can imagine the profit margin on it is great because you're not talking about having to develop a AAA game. So your profit margin is far higher. So you can sell a lot less and still do all right, or whatever. The next one up was Animal Well, which also got a 91. And again, very similar to UFO 50. It's more of a Metroidvania kind of game and more of a 8-bit, 16-bit feel to it. But it did very well. So apparently that's up there. And I don't know if any of you guys have messed with it.
Nope.
This is interesting. Satisfactory, it got a 91. Satisfactory's been around for a while
now. Yeah.
It's a very cult following game that you either love it or you hate it. And I'm in the hate it camp because why'd you pay to play that? But some people love that stuff.
Well, when you're really into sitting there building like plants and making all kinds of things out of it. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's the one that goes in and purposely breaks games. And this is one of his favorite games. And he's done, I think, 2 or 3 videos on it over the last couple of years. And oh my God, does he go bananas with it?
I've never got it though. I wonder if someone could hear that plays it, likes it, can explain it to me. You may as well just call it Foxconn Simulator because they're the guys that make a shit ton of stuff over in the Chinese factories for like Apple and whatnot, like really cheap. I don't get it.
I think it comes down to
simulator games in general, for the most part, I don't get.
Yeah, it comes down to the simulator thing. Everybody that likes that kind of stuff. Like I said, I couldn't see any sense in making a power wash simulator, but there's one. And I even looked at the videos of it. And I'm going like, I thought it was a joke. And I looked at the video, and the guy's got a power sprayer, and he's spraying the side of a house, and I'm going like, okay. It's like
I tried that for 3 minutes. So bored. I was like, oh my God, I might as well just wash my own balcony
out. I'm gonna go out and do some actual power washing.
Yeah.
I think it'd have more fun doing that than trying to, I mean, some simulators are kind of cool. Like there was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was more oriented around food. But the cool thing is that it actually allowed you to play with real recipes and stuff. So you could do some goofy things too, of course. But you had a chance to actually try to do real recipes and see if they would come out. So that's kind of, if you're into that, that's cool. At least
you can get some really good ones. Yeah.
Let's see. Next up is Balatro, Metascore 90. This is another one that I think won an award or 2 on the Games Awards.
It certainly was nominated for a lot of things. It's, again, one guy making this, very much Stardew Valley-esque, one guy making it, because it's not a graphical type game, it's a card game, so it's just, you're needing more this up here, the smarts for a good idea. I don't pretend to know how that game works, because it is a card game, and God knows it works, but it's super addictive. It's not super expensive. It's not in a Game Pass or anything, I don't believe. So this guy's minted. He deserves all the credit he's getting. It's just a fresh, new, different idea. Anyone played it here? Anyone know how it works?
No, but for the audience out there, they call it a poker-inspired roguelike deck-building gameplay.
I've seen it being played. I haven't played it, but it looks really cool. I might play it. And I think PC Gamer just gave it their Game of the Year.
Did they really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right.
I'm gonna try some of these just for the heck of it. I like card games, but if I'm going to play a card game, I generally would rather go to a blackjack table and where I can maybe make.
It's not the same online, is it? Like a game that rather than going to a casino or something. I get that. It's a different kind of buzz.
Have you played Slay the Spire?
I've not played any of those kind of things, mate. I've heard of it. Yes, same.
So it's a little bit like that. It's kind of like a roguelike, but with cards. But actually, it's more poker.
Okay. Well, it's doing something right.
Well, look at Gwen from Witcher 3. That wasn't meant to be anything more than having that game, having the card game within the game, and it got so popular that they had to break it off from the game.
Wait, what? There's a game from The Witcher that came out. What's it called? Gwen.
Gwent's always been around, but
really?
Oh yeah,
wow.
It's been around for 10, 12 years, but Gwent was always part of the game. A part of the game. So you went into Witcher 3 and you could play Gwent with NPCs and whatnot, all through the game. I never played it. I sat down once and went like, nah. And that was the end of that. But then they got so popular, they put out a video game just of Gwent, Witcher 3 Gwent. And now they're building a board game and cards called Gwent. That's going to come out soon. So
that's cool.
It's funny how things just kind of come out of wherever and it ends up being like really popular. So more power to these guys. I think it's great, man. I wish I'd come up with this idea to make something like this and make some good money.
Yeah, ideas are worth money, mate. Always.
I didn't play this game, but the next one is, I don't even know if I'm going to say this right, Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yes, you did.
That's it. You did it.
Yeah, amazing. And that's got a Metascore of 87. I didn't play this either, but apparently it's pretty popular.
Very popular, yeah.
I'm a big fan of this kind of game.
I thought you might be your cup of tea.
Wait, what the fuck does that mean?
No, because you were talking about you play Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So
that's right.
Of course,
Yeah.
you're going to like games like that if you like Final Fantasy is not my cup of tea, so I don't like games like that, but it's your cup of tea, so you will like games like that. It's really popular. Jesus, okay, you can stand down shields. Jesus Christ, man, the attack's over.
Apparently it's a port, though. It says it ported, I guess, over to PC. I'm not even sure here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was on console for a while. Was it PlayStation?
It might be on PC Game Pass, maybe. I don't know, because it was on Xbox, so I'm not really sure, though.
That rings a bell. Actually.
Yeah. Next game, I haven't heard of this one either, but it's Metascore 90. Thank goodness you're here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it looks, it has the appeal or look of a kid's book.
What is it?
I'm trying to see. They explain it as being a
slap and tickle, Monty Python-y style.
Slap and tickle. What kind of games are you playing?
They call it a slap. They call it a slap former. It's got its own whatever.
A slap former.
Slap former. Yeah.
I can just
like
make
side scroller, but this is a slap former. So I guess okay. It says here in terms of gameplay, you're not doing much beyond steering a small chap through various scenarios that can be solved with some percussive maintenance. In other words, slapping things. But it says it's a memorable game, and they gave it a high rating. So I don't know.
Metascore of 90. Wow.
Really? Okay.
Now here comes one. Finally, I'm well aware and familiar with, and so is Trev. God of War Ragnarok. Metascore was 90. That was such a good game. I mean, that was the only time I took my my grandson's PlayStation away from him. So
Has he got it back? What's the latest on that?
I played the game and then I gave it back to him. So good.
Oh, so he's got the PlayStation back, right? Okay.
Yeah. But I said, let me borrow this for a while. And he would have done it anyway, but I said, here's a couple bucks. And he goes, okay.
Good man.
Next one is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, which I've heard of, but I got an 89. Again, Danny Trejo's in this game. He's the villain. If you don't know Danny Trejo, Google him. The guy's great.
He was so funny when we played Scum because Gray actually paid money for the Danny Trejo skin and actual sayings. He would this mild mannered late 60s something Floridian would walk up to you in game and just curse and say something really offensive that you wouldn't even say to you.
Yeah, terrible case of the Lickmas.
I was like,
that's what gaming's for, man. You know, live your fantasy.
I don't know about that, but what he said was just great. I couldn't believe some of the stuff they got him to say, and he looked like him too. They did a pretty good job. So once you bought it, you had the skin, and you looked like him. It was fun. That was a fun thing when we played Scum for a while. Let's see. Next game is Kill Knight. That's with a K. Metascore 88. I'm trying to look at the game. It looks like they said that it compares to arcade. It's an arcade-ish kind of game. Smash TV, Robotron.
Cool.
You know, something like it. They said it's like a reverse Doom. Okay.
Reverse Doom.
It's up to you to make angels extinct. You will not cry when angels deserve to die.
No wonder they're talking about Doom because literally Doom guy literally went after the gods and angels and effed them up, and I loved it. It was like, take that, like all of religion. Loved it.
The next game, and Trev, you might, I don't know, you might take a different view on this one, but they said Destiny 2: The Final Shape was an 89 on Metascore, but I know you weren't overly fond of it, though. You said
no, I was. It was the one before it. It was
Lightfall
or whatever the hell that was. That was just. that was like, I don't know, that was like being at bloody a Pink Floyd bloody acid trip fest playing that game, man. It just wasn't good. And then they bombed quite a bit, Bungie, and then they come back with the final shape, and that was way better. That boosted their shares right back up because Bungie board were literally like, you could have held a piece of paper between these butt cheeks. They were shitting themselves that much about their jobs being on the chopping block because they were doing so bad. Sony were like, listen, if this bombs, we are disbanding your board and coming in to take over properly rather than let you do your thing. And this is the same company, Bungie, that went over to Naughty Dog and went, nah, your multiplayer Last of Us game is shit. It's not going to make any money. What? The Last of Us is not going to make money? The title alone sells an absolute fortune. Bungie don't have a clue what they're talking about. I'm actually pissed off they've done that. But I'm glad at least Bungie recovered with this latest DLC because it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Really emotional, good story, good gameplay. Sometimes you get shortchanged with gameplay, but it done well. So I would say it's worth that DLC. But it's DLC, it's not a game, mate. So back to that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a sense, it's just an extension of the game every time because it's live service and.
Yeah, so it shouldn't count. It should have its own category, like we discussed before, like Game of the Year awards and stuff. It shouldn't. Don't get me started. Lightfall was the Chernobyl Destiny 2. Yes, it was. It wasn't great, mate. It was like an acid trip playing that with all the colourful lights and stuff. I felt like I was at a rave or something on LSD. Or not good. Anyway.
Next game, at least I can talk about because I played this as well. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition. And all that means is that they took the DLC and put it into one thing that you could buy.
Yeah.
But I did play this, and of course, I'm a big Horizon fan, extremely, because the game is so good. Between that and God of War, both coming out relatively the same year, God of War Ragnarok, it was great. I couldn't believe I got to play both games in the same year, so I was really happy about that. So the Complete Edition came out, some tweaks and stuff here and there in it, but not that much more, except for the port. The port was perfect. So I think was it Nexus, right? That's the one that does the good ports, Trev?
One of them. There's two or three out there that do good ports, and I think that's one of them.
Yeah, they do the Horizon games, and it's always pretty flawless. They do a good job. So
Sony trust them. You see, once they stick to one company, it does well. They tend to stick with them.
Yeah. Some people were saying that when they did the remaster on Horizon Zero Dawn, some people were saying like, well, why? It's only a 5-year-old game. But when you look at what they did, if you're a true fan of the game, then it
is improved. But you go back to the question of, was it required this soon after? It was what you guys were discussing when I just first come on about the remasters and stuff. It's just Hollywood do it all the time in their movies. They run out of ideas, so they just recycle shit, and no one's making you buy it. But it's kind of poor. Like, this is why ideas cost money. They equate to a lot of money. The guy that made Balatro, brilliant idea. You're paying for this.
Yeah.
Anyone can program. Anyone theoretically can program it. Apparently, it's not super difficult. But I'm just a dum-dum. It's getting the good ideas to then put into a game, because you could pay a programmer to make a game for you. So ideas cost money, mate, and this is why these things keep happening, because they run out of ideas in games.
I'm going to kind of skip around on some of this because I know some we may not have played. So I'm going to run down the list a little bit quicker. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. I did get this game. I played about 10 or 15% of it and got sidetracked on some other games.
Same.
But what I did play, I did enjoy. There was a couple of things I wasn't exactly fond of, and how they handled certain gameplay. But generally speaking, it was a nice game. It was a pretty game. You really did feel like you're a samurai, slicing through everything. So I did kind of enjoy that. So I could see that. It got a Metascore of 89. I didn't play this next game, but I just love the name of this. It's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. So it got an 88 on Metascore, and it was a puzzle game. It even looks like a chessboard or something where you move the people around. I guess the art direction, the puzzles, you need a notebook to keep track of everything. So you have to be thinking about this one. So that sounds kind of interesting. Let me kind of come down the list. And Dragon's Dogma 2 at 88. Now, that was a game when it came out that people were kind of bashing it some and saying that it wasn't living up to what they thought. But then over time, the game has done okay. So I don't know if it was just the initial stuff or what, or maybe they just fixed it up. I'm not really sure. Let's see if there's anything else real quick. Well, Crusader Kings 3, which I did play. Roads to Power. I think that's the DLC. I don't know if that was the main game, but either way, I don't know whether any of you guys played that, but I had a good time playing it. It was more of a strategy kind of game, but the game was made to be as close to the real history of how things happen. Now, you could obviously change the names of the characters to whatever you wanted, your name or someone else's name or whatever. But the history of how things went back then and how things were done and how you came into power and how you shared the power and how you kept it with the family going from, kingdom to kingdom was all very close to the real history of what was going on at that time in the UK and other places. So it was pretty cool. It was definitely different, and I enjoyed it. Other things were like Silent Hill 2 came in, Dragon Quest 3, all getting in, high 80s on the scores and stuff. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle made it on their list, 87. They gave it, so that's pretty cool. So that's basically it for that. I kind of run it down. It was kind of fun. The next thing I'll talk about just briefly, we had kind of touched on this before. Everybody knows by now that The Witcher 4 is, we saw the cinematic and fanboys like me went nuts. So I loved it. But everybody started asking a question because in it, Ciri became the protagonist, which most people all agree with and they all like it. But then the questions started coming out. Yeah, but wait, there was a whole bunch of different endings in Witcher 3. In fact, I didn't know this, but there's like 36 different ways that could have went, believe it or not. And not all of them were her becoming a Witcher. It was all different things. She died, and another time she became queen of wherever, etc. But apparently 3D Projekt Red came out and decided that they are going to, after almost 10 years, actually pick one ending as canon. And so the ending of canon is the fact that she became a Witcher. No duh. Because she's in the, in the next game as protagonist. So for those of you that keep track of that kind of stuff in the lore and everything, it's not that the other endings weren't good or whatever, but this is the canon ending. Which makes sense because if they're going to roll it into Witcher 4, you kind of have to come out and officially say something. I don't think, although I wouldn't put it past them that the Witcher 4 is going to have 36 endings, but hey, man, I don't know. There's so many different things happen when you make the decisions. That's why I really like the game. I mean, you make a decision, it can affect stuff that goes on the rest of the game, which you don't see a lot of games do anymore. They just kind of that's too much. We're not going to bother, but CD Projekt Red has always done that. So it should be, I think, pretty enjoyable in the long run. That's it for now for my game news. So we're going to wander off to Matt. He's got some tech news he wants to talk about. So take it away, Mr. Matt.
Right, this one I got a little video of as well.
You have it? Or you want me to try to get it for you?
Yeah.
You have it? Yay.
Yeah. I've got it.
And what was the name of this thing? Because I think this is a funny name. I don't know why. It just sounds.
This is an odd one. Yeah, this is called the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus.
Claw Plus.
Does it look like a big claw?
They missed the max off the end.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. That show. There we go. All right, so I'll play it from here so you can see a little bit, and then I'll go on.
They already made a claw. This is a follow-up, I guess.
Yeah.
What is it? The new chip? Please say it's what is it called?
The Intel Ultra 7, the 258V.
Is it not the Z Extreme 2 or something, whatever it was called? That the mobile chip they've got. Oh no, it's bloody Lunar Lake. Oh god. Right, carry on.
Yeah. There you go. That's the news.
Lunar Lake.
Yeah, so this has been a handheld that's making people wave. There we go. The key features of this is the Intel Core Ultra 7, the 258V processor, which is part of Trev's favorite Lunar Lake series, which is supposedly designed for efficiency and performance. making it suitable for gaming and multitasking. In a handheld like this, it might be worth it. The graphics, the device has the Intel Arc 140V GPU chip, which provides a performance of 1200p resolution with the support of variable refresh rates technology on there.
Play the video.
I will. All right, here we go.
Boom.
And
remember, tune into the YouTube video, guys, when I edit it. Everybody out there that's listening, if you want to see some of the stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the display is an 8-inch. You can get in two different sizes, I should say. So you got the 8-inch at the 1200p IPS display at 120 hertz refresh rate and a 16:10 aspect ratio. You can also get it with the 7-inch as well. The battery life of it boasts between... I can carry on there. Between 80 watt battery power, which provides an impressive runtime of at least 10 hours.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking more 6 maybe at a push. We don't even get that out of a laptop itself.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just make sure that's still going. The connectivity, you got it has 4 USB ports, micro SD slots, Wi-Fi 7, and the Bluetooth 5.4.
That's a lot for a handheld, isn't it?
That's not bad, is it?
Thunderbolt's really important here, Matt, the Thunderbolt 4, because that will have true, if you want to hook up to an external GPU, you won't, or in theory, should get throttled like you used to do with Thunderbolt 3. That was a problem. Everything goes through the one cable.
It is, absolutely. So that it's brilliant. It looks nice. That's all I got to say. It kind of looks really good. It's got the analog sticks, your triggers, ergonomic controls, and customizable macro buttons for grey style of personal there. Let that go on a bit more. So besides that, the solid gaming performance supposedly can handle modern AAA titles like Cyberpunk, Forza. There we go. I'm going to leave it there.
Lovely.
It does look kind of nice. I do like it a little.
What is the colour on the side, man? What is that? Is that beige? What is that? Is that
looks grey?
Gunmetal grey.
Yeah,
gunmetal grey. Yeah.
Okay.
With the RGB ring lights around the thumb twiddlers.
Some people call me that too.
Thumb twiddlers. Is that the technical phrase for them?
It is.
Matt? Is it thumb twiddlers?
Yeah, it's patent. Right. So here we go.
I think looking at the specs, it might be okay. I mean, the first one was a disaster, right? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But and Trev, I get the impression Lunar Lake is not your bag. But I think for mobile, Lunar Lake is okay.
Well, they brought Lunar Lake out for what's the name of that?
Is it the Asus one?
It's one of these guys that will do kind of Kickstarter projects. I don't recall the name of it. They brought out a console earlier this year when Lunar Lake first came out.
Cyberbridge. No.
And it was.
That's what I was going to say.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Now, I just hope they've fixed their problems, Intel. They say they're releasing microcode, which should help. But until we actually have proper tests of this, and then that's compared to the Z1 Extreme. That's what I was talking about before, Matt. The Z2 is about to come out, and it's probably going to get announced at CEX. I keep CEX. That's the bloody mobile phone. That's the recycling electronics place in the UK. CES, Consumer Electronics Show. It's going to get released there, and that will just blow that and everything else out of the water. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm excited for that one, Tar, because it's going to be the Z1 Extreme, the non-extreme version. There's going to be there are 2 or 3 different variants of it, and that will blow things out of water. So,
absolutely.
Is there a price on this one yet, Matt?
There is. So for the 8-inch, it's looking at $899 to the dollars.
Wow!
But you could save £100 by getting the inch smaller, the 7-incher, like the rest of us.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
That one up.
It's not all about size when it comes to money.
Well, you know what I don't understand? I mean, I do understand, but I still think it's kind of silly. So you have an 8-inch and a 7-inch. Why?
Yeah.
I understand that a handheld, even an inch can make a difference, but still, if I'm gonna do it, I would make an 8 and a 10.
It's the resolution, Gray. The resolution is batshit crazy. 1200p for something you're holding like that is bonkers. You don't need any more than 1080p. that close to
nice.
your face.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
Save the battery life. You can downclock the resolution. You could downclock. Listen to me. You could
but I'm just
run
talking
it at
in
1080.
screen size. If you're going to make one smaller, don't go 7, go 6. If you're going to make one bigger, don't go 8, go 10.
Yeah, but was the 7-inch maybe an OLED, Matt, compared to the 8-inch?
Yeah.
Is the 8-inch LED or OLED?
That one is, I think it was OLED.
Both OLEDs.
OLED, yeah. IPS.
All right, because
OLED,
it would have made sense if the 8-inch was LED, but the 7-inch was OLED, because OLED's superior, then that would have made sense then, because you could then charge different prices for these two.
I think given that the first one was not a good release, like it
was bad.
It needed to be like £500 and £600.
Yeah,
you know, not 7 and 8.
Why do you think the Steam Deck done as well as it is? I mean, there's more power in my pinky when I'm sleeping than there is in the Steam Deck, but it done the job so well because it was efficient, because the OS that Valve took, basically Linux, and made their own version of it and tweaked the hell out of it and optimized it within an inch of its life. It done so well that the rumours are that we don't have this in our list anywhere, but it's a good thing to talk about. There's heavy rumours that they'll try and release Valve their own Steam box again, but actually the OS will be actual proper Steam OS, and they'll give it out to people like MSI, Matt, and your Lenovo's and all that, and they can use it, but they have to stick to particular criteria to use that, and they might even enter the games console industry with their own kind of box. That's a more of a lighter rumour. It's more likely. Steam OS thing is going to happen. We've seen leaks of the sticker. Yep. So, but
I don't understand why it bombed in the first place, to be honest with you. It was good.
I tell you why, Tara, because I watched a video about this just the other day. It's because they brought out their Steam box and other companies were able to bring out a Steam box as well. They did not regulate it, mate. They went, we don't have many criteria, go for it. You can do what you want, more or less how you want.
I didn't know
there's
that.
different versions of it. Some of them brought out Steam box and it had Windows on it. So this time, at least, it will be the proper OS. And you, like Sony, like Microsoft, you have to play by these rules or you're not allowed to use our brand.
That sounds very on-Valve.
I know. It's weird. No wonder it bombed. But their controller thing was brilliant, if you remember that.
Yeah, the controller
I should have bought one. It went for like £3 at one point in Steam when they were getting rid of them. Nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. I don't know if you have any more to add to that, mate.
I think the only other con that people were worried about is the weight of the whole thing. Was it 795 grams? Was it one?
Holy moly!
That is a beast for a handheld.
That's a workout.
Yeah.
I don't go. What's your workout routine? I do at least 5 or 6 sets of 10 reps with the MSI Claw.
You know, what you do is you get 2 of them and you put one in each hand and just go like this. Really expensive workout.
I'm going to clip that. Thank you. Nice
that was like the little Trump dance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was that. Yeah. Okay, Trump. Yeah, what you saying? You do stay in Florida, to be fair, mate. So shocking.
Yeah. So there's.
All right, we're going to move into. We're going to stick with the tech news, and Trev's got a couple of things he wants to cover.
I'll fly through these a bit quicker. We should be able to fit in the quiz after as well. I appreciate.
Yeah, we're at an hour 47 minus.
Great
really.
Yeah, but the
hour
10.
40.
I was going to say, we've got time on. Bear in mind though, Gray, like move some of these things next week to closer to the front. I feel sorry that your poor AI corner, mod corner, gets shafted quite a lot.
I said plenty of stuff before when you weren't here.
But to be fair, we got Taro on, and Taro's. This is why I like having Taro on, because he's a big hardware geek, and he loves all this shit.
Yeah, Taro,
so do I as well.
Actually, what we're going to do, Taro, is the 3 of us are going to grab something to eat. You just keep talking.
Bye!
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm staying, man. I'm staying. You losers go, man.
I'm looking forward to this next one, though.
To be fair, you've done me a favour, Taro, earlier on by stealing a little bit of my thunder by talking about the NVIDIA 50, 80, and 90 prices, because I had that earmarked down, but you've done it to save us a bit of time. So normally I'd be like, God damn it, you stole my thunder, but you actually done me a favour, so thank you. I'm actually doing it slightly back to front. I'm actually going to get some of the quicker things out of the way first. Despite the rumoured prices that Tar was mentioning before about the new NVIDIA cards, this is in conjunction with them trying to get their cards shipped over to the US and other places, but mainly the US, as soon as possible before a certain Mr. Trump takes office, because he likes he likes his tariffs, man. This is what happens when you stick a businessman in charge of the free world. He treats it he treats the states like a business rather than a country, and he's going to tax the Chinese within an inch of their life. So I don't know why he's going to. Anyway, I won't get into political stuff.
I don't think there's going to be any tariffs.
We don't want to get deep into it.
I think he will, mate. He loves them. There's heavy rumors that he's going to bring in massive tariffs.
Suffice to say, there's going to be some tariffs. As to how much, how many, and how bad, we don't know yet.
Well, they can only go in rumors, Gray, and previous what he's done previously, which wasn't great. So basically, the reason you're seeing these leaks more so than you usually are, Tar, because we're seeing a lot of these fecking leaks about these new cards, more so than we normally would, is because they're rushing over cards to the States as soon as possible, because if they're in the country, they beat these tariffs. And that's what they're doing. So they're literally going, right, let's send everything we've got to the moment. So basically, the Yanks are going to have their pick of the cards at the start. We're all shafted because they'll be getting all these cards to beat at the start. There he goes. He'll be like wheeling dealing. Do you want a card there, Trev?
Charles, what you're saying then is 2,600 quid for a 5090 is just nothing.
Yeah. He'll be like, Gray will be marking up just 10% for mates rates.
I'll get a 5,900 for you, then I'll ship it over there and call it
$3,000.
There you go. But when I want to declare what it is, I'll just say it's like I don't know, toilet paper or something. Yeah,
exactly. Hey. No, you're supposed to be joking at your shafting this here, just mates rates shafting. That's all. So the Orange Man takes office in January 20th, so they're getting as many cards over there as they possibly can as soon as. And these tariffs that we're talking about could be as much as 10% normally, whereas certain tariffs, and it's all rumour, conjecture, could be as much as 60% on certain types of items from China. And that possibly would include GPUs because it's such a luxury item. There's a whole thing about chips between not letting the Chinese get the latest fabrication technology because you don't want to be your rivals, you don't want to be giving them the latest. So he's probably going to basically end up making these cars even more expensive. Now, you think that was to do with the 2600? It's not. God, you can imagine if the tariffs weren't a thing, they'd still be charging that price. So it's kind of ridiculous.
3,600.
Well, thank you, Jansen, with your immaculate leather jacket. I have an
idea. By the way, I didn't tell you this, Matt, but I'm planning on this summer to go over to Scotland with my son, so I'll see you guys when I come. But here's the thing. I can just sit there and buy a bunch of 5090s and load it all in my luggage.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that certainly after, Gray. I'm kind of hoping you delay it until my two enterprises come so that you can bring them.
There you go. See, I got to do an extra check bag just for everything.
Yeah. We'll talk about it after. Yeah, I'm conscious of time, so we'll fire on, guys. The last thing, I'm going to save the best to last, so we can get Tal's opinion on this. I'm kind of obsessed with this because I'm a PC gamer first and foremost, but I do still like my consoles as well, and a Switch is just fun. And I know there's been loads of Switch rumours, but the thing is, love it or hate it, it is very, very good at what it does and very, very popular. So the rumours are a lot. There's heavy rumours that we will get an announcement within the next week or two, or a reveal of it, and more than likely they'll probably sell it in March, which makes sense because the Switch 1 came out in March 2017. So they'll probably do the same now that they've built a lot of them. I'll be excited about that. I'll be ready to put in a pre-order. I want to be able to play the last Zelda game in more than 1080, 30, or whatever the hell it was. So 4K 30 sounds a bit nice for Zelda. And then the last but not least, and I'll also bring in Tarn in a minute for this for his opinion, because CES, well done, Trev, you've done it this time. Because CES, there's that spanking again.
Just call it CES. Sure.
Well, actually, the CEX and the TV recently finally started using that. Come to sex. Sex is what it's all about. They only started using that CEX, but it sounds like sex.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll click that.
Come here and you won't get any of that.
So 100%. It's a rumor, but it's a heavy rumor. Like it's pretty much going to be happening in a matter of days. AMD's Ryzen 9 9950 X3D spotted in CPU Z or Z, which is an application I use, and I know Taro use it a lot as well for basically flexing how big your GPU is and how good it is. I was going to say something else there, but then I realised some people might be offended by that. Great knows.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this card, this chip, because I told you guys that I'm possibly going to be jumping ship soon, because Intel are an absolute bin fire. I was a loyal Intel guy for a long time because they were, for gaming, up until a couple of years ago, the best for gaming. And that's all I was interested in. But now they have literally dropped the ball on that one. The ball's set in fire. The ball's oxidized and
covered in sand.
Caught fire again. So, no, yeah, poor Intel. We need competition. This new chip's coming out probably very, very soon. It's going to be rumored to be 5.7 gig across all cores, which for a chip like this is phenomenal considering all the technology under the hood. I know it's not all about clock speeds. I know that's only part of it. The 3D cache is a massive part of it, as Taro knows as well. It's just got them the top gaming performance in the last couple of years, basically. But I'm really, really looking forward to this one. The cache is kind of through the roof with this one. It's got the same 170 watt TDP, which is the same as the last gen. So that's good. They're increasing power without increasing without wattage. Yeah, thank you, Matt. And the cache size is now 96 plus 32. I want this. 16 cores, 32 threads. 16 cores, 5.7 gig across all of them. Oh my lord! Do not put your eggs on that one. They will definitely fry.
Wait, say 16 again.
No. So it's all about an extra 64 meg of that level 3 cache, right? And the cache is really, really important for this chip and how its technology works. Give us all the cache because it really does really help. And when Tar was on last time, we were talking about this chip being so oppressive because it will have 2 core complex dies, CCDs, as we know, carrying 8 cores with 32 gig of dedicated L3 cache. One of them will feature an additional 64 megabytes of level 3 chiplet underneath the CCD. This is where this whole 3D cache thing comes into play, bringing the total of L3 cache to 128 and 144. That sounds like nothing if you don't know much about computers, but see, in terms of CPUs, that's bonkers. That is what it's all about. You imagine when you get these chips in a couple of years, they're at like 6 gig across all cores, man. You're flying. Taro, thoughts, opinions? Are you moist and excited?
I was, but until I saw...
I often do that to boys and girls, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm let down.
Until I saw this CCD layout, I was really excited because they were supposed to have the full fat V-cache on both CCDs.
What is the full fat level for the uninitiated?
Well, having that 64 megabytes of L3 cache on both CCDs. So what this one's going to do is basically use some software trickery to, shut off one of the CCDs, and when you're gaming, to use the one with the V-cache for better gaming performance.
Yeah.
But what's happened is that that software is not great. It's okay. I mean, it does the job, but it's not great. And
why are they doing it? Are they cheaping out? Is it money? Can it be done? I'm assuming it can be done, but they're cheaping out.
Yeah, but so the original rumor was that it was going to have the full fat V cache on both CCDs, and that doesn't seem to be the case now. So I was really excited about this because I thought this was going to be the absolute best of both worlds. Great for productivity, also amazing for games.
Yeah.
If you're a gamer, you want one that just has a single CCD with the V cache on it, and that's currently which is the 9800 X3D.
Well, there's probably another reason why they're not doing that. That all falls on marketing. They can do it, but they're just going to wait until they can bring out the new and improved one next time.
There's a question for Tal. When would they actually bring out both? Do you think the generation next, they're just kind of basically eking out that little bit more, yeah?
I don't think there's enough room currently on the die to support.
Also, physically can't be done. All right. Okay.
I don't think so. No, I mean, I'm not a massive expert, but from what I understand, they're already, the reason why they've moved the cache to a different place is to allow for more of it, to allow for better thermals and all that kind of other stuff. There's just hardly any room left.
Yeah. That's a shame. It really is a shame. Listen, at the end of the day, AMD are running away with it in the CPU department, not the GPU department. So I guess that's their kind of bag at the moment. I will keep my options open. I think it is a good one because basically, when they bring this out at CES, they'll be bringing it out rumored to be alongside FSR 4. So Gray, you like your little chuckle there, your little kind of pisser thing. So yeah, you like that. I'll let you get it in. And the new graphics card as well. So RDNA 4. So the PS5 Pro is, or is it? PS5 Pro is like it's like 3.5 in terms of the RDNA. The way Mark Cerny was talking about it, because they took some of the new things and the old things, and that's what Nintendo done as well. It's a great thing about working with these guys. They just
squeezed it down into a bigger chip.
Customized. It's customized, isn't it? It's just like, give me Nintendo are good at this because they're using the last NVIDIA chip, but they're saying, listen, we don't need the Billy Big Balls edition and we're tight arses. Can you just give us the last one that you've got, but maybe add a few, bolt on a couple of things like DLSS so it can run it a little bit higher, whatnot. The new graphics card will come out as well, AMD, more than likely, the RX 9070 XT. Now, I don't know what that compares to NVIDIA. It won't probably touch the 50, 80, or 90, more than likely. Yeah. But I hope it's something strong and powerful because I would love to run the two AMD products together to get, what's the technology, the phrase that they have, Tar, when you run both components together, you get a speed boost, don't you?
SLI?
Sam? Yeah.
Remember that?
Say it again?
I said SLI,
Sam
remember
or
that?
Something like that.
Sam, that's it, Sam. Not SLI, no. That's
wait a minute, that's Sam's invisible. What are you talking about? I don't know.
No, they run together. It's like the direct storage thing with Intel. So if you run these two products together, it's a bit of a marketing thing, but there is a bit of truth in it. They run a bit quicker.
Yeah,
if you run
get
both
like
together.
a 3% performance lift or something like that. Maybe 5%.
It's not too shabby, but if their new graphics card can only compete with, say, the 5070 when it comes out, it's no use to me. I'm not at the bleeding edge because I don't have any more organs or testicles to sell, but I'm certainly at the highest end. I'm at like a 5080 kind of side of things. So, hey, CES is a nerd's wet dream come true. It really is. It's all the shinies, and we'll get loads of it. You always see, what's his name? Linus from Linus Tech Tips. Literally, he's like a kid in a Swedish shop, a candy shop. He absolutely adores that. So, yeah, that's all the news I've got now. I think we'll get time to squeeze in the quiz, Graham. Is that right?
We'd have to rush it. I don't know if I want to go rushing it.
What's on the clock if you take away 10 minutes?
Yes, and no.
We have like less than 8 minutes, and we have to run the end too. So,
we've got time. Go for it.
No, we'll just do it next time. It's cool.
Right. Okay. You're the boss.
Anyway, thanks, Tarl, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
So
and again,
gamertech.org.
You want to check it out and get a computer built for yourself the way you want it. And Tarl will back it up. If anything happens, he'll come over your house.
I'll give you a free 59.
Tarl, you're welcome.
That's not a benefit.
Listen, you're welcome anytime, man. Just if there's something that tickles your fancy, like some news that you know is coming out, like hardware. I love talking hardware with the boys anyway, especially yourself. Just give us a heads up and come on, man. We'll chew the fat hardware-wise.
And we'll tell you all about the different games that we want you to play. Oh, only kidding.
You know what? There's a few on that list that I like the look of.
2025 is going to be big for games. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe.
Oh, yes.
Next week, I'm going to talk about Axis Unseen, by the way. Next week, I'll talk about Axis Unseen. I'm really having a lot of fun with that game, and I'll talk more about it next time. But that's nice. been a lot of fun. But in any case, we're going to do the outro. This is where the music comes in, and we do a dance. And well, you'll see what I mean. We get goofy while I'm turning all the cameras off.
Yeah.
So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll talk to you again next week as usual. So everybody say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do.